Hello, Placentia community. This is Eric Holmgren, your ambassador at large for the Placentia Chamber of Commerce. And today I am with Chris Skolmuch at Spitz. How are you doing
Spitz. I'm
today?
doing fantastic,
Good,
Eric.
good, good.
Thanks.
I love the place. It is so dynamic and colorful and fun. Tell me a little bit about Spitz.
Yeah, this is the vibe. So the whole intent here is to be energetic, kind of like be a little bit different and memorable. We want it to be, very eclectic because that kind of creates energy within you, right? So between the food and the ambiance and the service, we believe that's what's the complete package and puts us all together. So we really went out of our way to make sure that we held a lot of the brand standards, which is you see the pink air duct, beauty queen pink actually. The neon accentuates
Right.
that. If you go into any of the other 25 Spitz locations, you'll see a lot of the same chandeliers.
Okay.
There's an artist within the company. His name is Devin, and he does a fantastic job, as you guys can see, bringing this to life.
Right.
We always try to bring in a little bit of the community. So you'll see things in that resemble, Placentia and the history of Placentia within the space as well. So again, usually has loud music going on, and just really trying to create a relaxing vibe with the service and the great food. We are fast casual,
Right.
but we really try to like squeeze that line a little bit and offer guests a little bit more personal experience. We'll run the food for you. We're always trying to check in with you. We'll clear your plates for you.
Okay.
So just trying to do things a little bit different, and it'd be more community driven, right? Give it a place that people want to come to versus
Cool.
just looking for a snack.
Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about the menu that you have here.
Yeah, so the menu is really interesting. It's a inspired menu from the two brand owners, Bryce and Robert, doing their backpacking trip through the Mediterranean. And what's interesting is if you research any of the names, right, between the Donner, which is a German name,
Right.
the Euros and all that are traditionally Turkish and Greece. A lot of our spices, the sumac and the za'atar, are more Egyptian as well. So there's really elements of all of that Mediterranean kind of coming together. But over the years, they started in 2004, and over the years, they learned quickly to adapt to California fusion, if you will,
Okay.
right? So there's a lot of things on the menu that you can't say are, oh, that's totally Turkish, or oh, that's totally Greece, or hey, this doesn't seem like authenticity. But authenticity is time and place, right? And so we believe that we're really trying to bring in that Mediterranean handheld experience, whether it be through the wrap, through the convenience of a bowl, because you can eat on that go, or just even some of the other things that we do with like our street cart fries, right? Which is really more of saucy fries, which you'd see more in Germany, or even
Right.
like poussin for French, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So just all of that, and we like to bring in our own. We're big fans of Spain and the culture of Spain, so we have Albarino wine here, which is all part of that tradition too, right? So we're always trying to pull different things, but it's really what the community wants and what they like to see. But I think it puts us a little bit different in the way we deliver the food as well as the menu itself. So
Well, cool. Now, you mentioned that this is a franchise founders. So how did you get involved with it? What did you do before you got involved as a franchisee?
So I spent the last 27 years in food manufacturing as a product developer and a food engineer. As I got later in my career, I started looking at, hey, what am I going to do next? Typically, when you work for big CPG companies, you kind of get pushed out at the end, right? You're getting paid too much money,
Yeah.
right, Eric?
Yeah.
But
I've never had that problem, being
But
paid
it's
too
always
much money,
it's
yeah.
always been I've been a very had a very unique role.
Right.
Done a lot of food innovation and a lot of engineering innovation within the manufacturing side, and so from there. As a food product developer, you're always working with marketing and sales consistently, constantly. One of the things that I was really knew that if I was going to go do a franchise, I wanted to keep it food. It's what I know. It's what I love. I didn't realize until I was in college about working in restaurants how much I enjoyed hospitality, and it reminded me of the things that my father used to do, my mom used to do, is throw parties in the neighborhood.
Right.
And so I always had a lot of fun with that kind of bringing the community together. Food's a great way to do that. So I decided to look in food. And what I learned was, Mediterranean cuisine was the most popular coming out of COVID, coming into COVID. So there
Right.
wasn't much change there. I got to meet Spitz because of my technical sales role at the previous, my last employer.
Right.
And they were trying to bring rice onto the menu. Believe it or not, rice is actually something that even in culinary school, you only spend 3 days on, but you'll spend 3 weeks on pasta. So to people that don't grow up with it,
Right.
it's kind of a little bit of a challenge. And that's how I met them, is by bringing basmati into the system for Spitz.
Okay.
And it was great because I got to really meet them. I got to work with them, not as a potential franchisee, but just as a customer, vendor kind of contact. So you kind of get the sense of how they really operated.
Right.
And then once, my wife Rebecca and I kind of looked into other franchises, we kept coming back to Spitz. And so we landed with Spitz, and we're so grateful for it.
Well, good. Well, good. So, as you know, with our chamber chats, we're usually talking with business owners about some challenges that they've had and then what they've done to overcome it. So, what's a challenge that you face here with your business here at Spitz?
Yeah, lots of challenges. I think running restaurants, that's the dynamic, but it's also the beauty of it. For us, I think consistency of sales has been our biggest challenge. We've been open now 6 months.
Okay.
We came out with a fantastic grand opening. The community really, really supported us. A lot of it was the anticipation of 18 months to get Spitz Placentia open.
Right.
But they stuck with us. They still continue to stick with us. But what's interesting is for really in this area, Orange County, even in general, June's the peak. Sales decline and don't start coming back until January.
Okay.
So we opened in a time where we were at the peak, and we started planning against that peak in small adjustments. But it drops off the cliff in August. And so part of our culture is to look at how restaurants may be run in the future. And we really felt blessed to be able to get the talent that we got when we first opened. Almost everybody that we brought on board has stayed with us.
Right.
So the hours have decreased with school and all of that, so that's been great because that kind of helped us with that labor challenge.
Right.
But we really, I'm not a believer in, hey, the store is slow and you cut people's hours.
Right.
To me, that's a business problem, and you need to figure that out. You can plan for it. There's so many tools out there today to work through that you've got to spend the time and figure out how to really adjust your sales and your labor appropriately. Because for me, that's the guest is interacting with the people that work here. They're the ones that are going to make it successful, the people that work here. So the more that they have that interaction with the guests and they're engaged, the guest sees it, right? And that's really what we're trying to drive on that culture side.
So for you, it's been a case for like really looking at the data to try to figure out how to plan your hours and your staffing so that way you don't end up.
Look at the trend.
Okay.
Right. And that's what's been hard because our data is short. But working with the franchisor, like you're able to see consistently how the data changes, right? So it's been helpful. For me, it's just about not getting caught in the day-to-day. It's probably my biggest challenge, Eric, and spending time to look at the strategic intent of the business.
Okay. Cool. Well, before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to share with our friends out in the wider community?
Yes, Spitz is open. We're so grateful for all of the support with it, and we think that we'd really like to get to know you and meet you. I am a resident of Placentia as well, so more than likely we see each other. If you have young children, I'm sure we do. But thank you for your support for those that have been already, and if you haven't given us a try, we're ready to welcome you and show you the Spitz experience.
Yep. Well, very good. And I can attest to the fact that the food's very good because I was here for an event earlier. So,
Awesome.
Chris, it was great to catch up with you and chat with you and learn more about your business and your experience. And look forward to seeing you at some more chamber events as time goes by.
Absolutely, Eric. Thank you for the time.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Hey, and for everybody else out there, until our next episode, be well.